Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to showcase a 1-bar Oakensoul build for the Magicka Necromancer, also known as Magcro. This build is capable of pulling over 83k on the parse dummy and is optimized for group content. I will be using mythics and trial gear, so this is not a beginner friendly build, but rather more for endgame players who prefer 1-bar builds. I will also do my best to keep it as viable for content as possible, such as offering a flex spot for other skills and offering advice on some alternatives to gear or skills in the video. Anyways, here's the build. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a Magicka and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, I am a High Elf. Other alternatives include Khajiit, Dark Elf, and possibly even maybe Bren would be fine. For food, our best choice is probably Clockwork Citrus Fillet, and a cheaper and almost as good alternative would be Witchmother's Potent Brew. And if you're parsing or just need more sustain, then Ghastly Eyeball is always the go-to. So for potions, because we have all of the necessary buffs other than Major Intellect that comes from Spell Power pots, we're going to opt instead to use Heroism pots. So for the potion combination I used Dragon Realm, Dragon Blood, and Columbine. This gives us Restore Stamina with Major Endurance, Restore Magicka with Major Intellect, and Minor Heroism. The most important part about this potion is the Minor Heroism and Major Intellect. Major Intellect is going to help us sustain, and Minor Heroism is going to give us crazy ult regeneration, paired with Major Heroism that the Oakensoul provides. So this is how we're able to drop so many ultimates through a parse. These potions are quite expensive to make, so make sure you have 3 points in medicinal use to benefit from the full duration of the potions. Medicinal use could be found through the alchemy skill line. So for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Backstabber, Wrathful Strikes, Deadly Aim, and Master at Arms. For the red tree, we're going to be running Sustained by Suffering, Siphoning Spells, Rejuvenation, and Balanced Vitality. So for gear, we're going to be running 5-piece Zovgan paired with 5-piece Whirl of Depths, paired with 1-piece Slime Crawl and Oakensoul Ring. So breaking it down, in the main hand we have a Zovgan Dagger in Nirnhoned with a Flame Damage enchant. On the offhand, a Charged with a Poison Damage enchant. For the head, we have a 1-piece Slime Crawl in Medium in Divines with Max Mag enchant. On the body, we have 5 pieces of Depths all in Max Mag with Divines as the trait. And on the legs, we have 1-piece Zovgan in Divines with Max Mag. And for the jewelry, we have 2 pieces of Zovgan jewelry, both traded in Bloodthirsty with spell damage enchant. And lastly, Oakensoul Ring with the spell damage enchant traded in Bloodthirsty. So for skills, we're running Stalking Blastbones, Ricochet Skull, Avid Boneyard, Detonating Siphon, Skeletal Arcanist, and Ice Comet. So for the rotation, we're going to be basing it off of our Stalking Blastbones. In other words, we're going to be casting our Blastbones and then 2 skills. So a sample rotation would look something like Blastbones, Skill, Blastbones, Skill, and you want to keep that rhythm for the whole duration of your rotation. So in terms of skill priority, Blastbones is going to be your top priority skill. But after you cast Blastbones every 3rd skill, make sure you keep up Boneyard, Detonating Siphon, Skeletal Arcanist, and then when you don't have any of those DOTs to refresh, just use Ricochet Skulls. Lastly, whenever your Ice Comet is ready, just drop that whenever and you should be good to go. So for closing thoughts, first off, if you don't want to run daggers, you can run Inferno Staff, which is perfectly fine and allows you to play at range. Second off, your flex spot would probably be getting rid of Skeletal Arcanist. Instead, you can put whatever you need, but I suggest putting like a heal maybe. Necromancers have access to Spirit Mender, which is a good heal over time, and you just cast it and keep it up and set and forget and it heals you kind of thing, which is really nice. And in terms of alternatives for gear, so just some notable sets that I'd like to talk about would be Boss A is still good, Pillar of Nirn, Advancing Yokeda, and Order's Wrath are all still viable sets. So in terms of skills, I did try every single spammable that I could think of that might work, and Ricochet Skulls pulled ahead just slightly. Furthermore, for content for your ultimate, I think running Colossus would be a better bet to give everybody that major vulnerability. And if for some reason you do need to run the other Morph of Boneyard, which can be more beneficial in content, don't forget to swap that out as well. The reason why you'd ever want to run the other Morph is because it applies an AoE Major Breach. So unless you have like a Necro tank or someone else running it, it's really nice to have one. The only other exception is if someone's using Caltrops. And I think that wraps it up. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And we also have a Discord if you want to come join that. And if this build helped you in any way, please consider hitting that subscribe button. A parse and outfit section will be attached at the end. And lastly, thank you and have a good day.